Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hustle and Hughes podcast, the place for Black and brown entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Afnan Idris. This week, I'm so excited to bring you this episode with recording artist Faris Mousa, aka Phay. While usually he's pretty private online, Phay gets vulnerable with us. He shares his struggles growing up in an immigrant household, what working at his dad's restaurant taught him about entrepreneurship, how growing discipline on his fitness journey really helped him grow, his experience with therapy, and navigating life after divorce. Phay's musical career spans over 10 years. He has produced 6 albums and is currently working on his 7th. He has amassed an impressive 20 million streams across all platforms. He's known for his incredible marketing strategy and super close relationships with his fans, including him hand delivering dozens of donuts and merch across the greater Atlanta metro area. If you haven't already, please take a quick minute to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Let's jump in. Guys, welcome to the podcast. We are here in Atlanta and I have a really special guest. We got Faris Mousa, aka Phay, recording artist in the building. You want to introduce yourself?
How y'all doing? My name is Faris Mousa. I'm a recording artist that was born in Chicago.
Were you born in Chicago?
I was.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I moved here when I was 11.
Okay. You're at Atlanta now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rep Decatur like all day in Atlanta.
Mashallah.
But as far as the sports teams and stuff go, like definitely still very much Atlanta.
Okay.
I mean Chicago. Sorry.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So are your parents big sports fans as well?
No.
So it's just you repping it and you and your siblings?
My dad used to watch the Bears and stuff when he first came to the country in Chicago. They won the Super Bowl and stuff, but he keeps up a little bit, but he's not like an avid sports fan.
Okay, cool. I'm trying to remember when did I first meet you?
I think if it was around,
I don't remember when it was. I remember where it was.
2017, maybe 2018.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
Wow, mashallah. Yeah, because Abdullah wasn't married yet.
Nah.
Was I married? No, when I first met you, I
You
was
were.
married. I was married, yeah.
I met you at RCM.
Yep, at the
And
Masjid.
I met you and hubby.
Yes,
You know?
Fred.
Y'all both had glowing auras.
Jazakallah khair, thank you.
Alhamdulillah, you know? So
Yeah, that was cool. And I think it was the Beyond Il Bilal event.
It was.
So that was an amazing event. So
I think it was Mustafa Briggs.
Yes. So I really thought it was interesting because you are more connected to the Eritrean community than I am. No, honestly, you knew those guys before. So I didn't meet them until I moved to Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Because of EMC, which is the Eritrean Muslim Convention. So that happened to be in Atlanta the year that I moved in 2017. No,
that was the soccer game.
No, EMC is the Eritrean Muslim Convention.
Okay.
It's that big convention. It's like a conference that they do, and they do it in different cities. Next year is actually going to be in Toronto.
Okay.
So it was funny because I was like, who's this Palestinian boy that everybody knows? And you actually surprised me. You actually know a little bit of Tigrinya too, which is like, wow.
Hawaii, Haftay, Zigni.
I love that.
Ati Shukarina.
Yo, whoever is like, we're not doing a good job of gatekeeping. Like,
I'm trying. No.
Eritreans are super like warm and mashallah, they'll bring anybody in.
No, yeah, but you know, I'm one of y'all now.
Yeah.
You know.
How did that get started?
My brother Saleh, we met in college, and like it became a brotherhood almost instantly. I've known him for going on 10, 11 years now.
Wow.
And we just stayed in contact. He teaches in Saudi Arabia now. He teaches English, and you know, he introduced me to his family, and I had the pleasure of meeting his brother, AB Abdullah, and we became really close.
Yeah.
And they basically, like you said, they very inviting people, very hospitable people. Abdullah worked with my family, with our family business for a while too. Yeah, he was the manager.
I didn't know that. Because your people have a restaurant, right?
Yeah. My dad has a family-owned restaurant that he started in 2001. That's why we moved here. So
okay.
He opened one in Athens, and he literally made AB the manager.
Wow.
And
how old were you when that happened?
This wasn't too long ago. 2016.
When he opened the next location.
Yeah, the next location. Yeah, so he made AB manager, and that just gives you a little description of how much you know we are still one family. But back then it was just like, you know, that trust.
That's amazing. Yeah. So like even with meeting Saleh and them, how did you meet the rest of them? Because you know the Zigni bros who are all the way up in Toronto, mashallah.
Yeah, man.
And their movement. You knew it more than I did, and even before I did, mashallah.
So 2017 was around the time I started taking music serious as a career, and that's when I started I quit my job, and like it was just music. And those guys, even though I didn't have the closest ties to them and didn't know them much, they showed me so much love and compassion. And like you said, the hospitality, that it was just one of those things where, you feel love. Even if somebody's saying great things to you, sometimes it comes off as disingenuous, And but them, I just felt it for real.
Instantly,
and they came out to Atlanta for, I think it was like the Richmond soccer tournament. I think that was in 2016 or 2017. Yeah, but I met all of them, Zachy, a whole bunch of Juice, Amen,
all really good
JK,
brothers, mashallah,
JJ, and then I met Hamad, Big Cali.
Yes. Shout out to them, by the way. They're all awesome.
Yeah, man. I met him 6 months ago. He came out to Atlanta.
Nice.
Saw that I was here. My mom was staying at my apartment at the time. She said invite them over. She cooked for them.
That's amazing. And they, of course, they came through, show respect, mashallah.
Absolutely,
So
man.
good.
I have nothing but love for all of them.
Mashallah. Okay, so walk me through when you first got started with your music in 2017, because obviously from immigrant parents, a lot of us don't get the leeway to do like a creative career. We don't get that option. So what was it like? First of all, what made you decide to do music? And then what was it like telling your parents and quitting your job?
So I did the whole college thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And got my degree. I graduated valedictorian randomly at Georgia State University. My mom still wasn't impressed. She was like, you got to go get your master's. And I was like,
she really wasn't impressed?
Well,
I mean, immigrant parents, what can I say?
She genuinely wasn't impressed.
Damn.
Like I walked off the stage and she just gave me a hug and was like, you still got work to do.
Yeah.
So it's always that that tough love. And then I started helping my dad with his restaurants. I started running them.
Straight out of high school?
Not straight out of high school, out of college.
Oh, straight out of college.
Did that for about 3 years, and then I kind of took a break from music during that 3 years, and there was just this huge void that was missing in my life, and I went back to it as sort of like a therapy, and then I started dropping music, and the response was way better than I imagined. So
so when you first started music in 2017, did your parents know about it, or was it just kind of like something you were doing and like posting it online?
So I've been doing music since I was 18.
Really?
Yeah. So it took me nearly 10 years to actually like make it a career. So I didn't make a penny off music until I was 27.
Wow.
So 9 years doing something that you love, not seeing a penny. 2015, 2016, Spotify happened. Streaming platforms happened, and it made it a lot easier for artists like me to
100%
to get out there and monetize their art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And at what point did your parents realize this was something serious and you were committed to doing it and there's no turning back?
Probably when I quit.
Yeah.
Working at the restaurant, and I started doing that, and it's all hell broke loose.
I was about to say, I imagine. So tell us about when you actually told your parents, and how did that conversation go?
So they always knew I was into music and stuff like that, but my mom was always like, you're gonna have to find a real profession someday. Yeah, and that always kind of stuck with me. I was like, the clock is ticking. If I don't make it at a certain time, I gotta quit.
Yeah.
And back then I had lofty goals of being the biggest artist out, you know what I'm saying? Just lavish dreams, very superficial dreams.
Yeah.
And as I got older, I really just wanted to push the envelope in music and art, and I wanted to be respected in my field, and I didn't really care about fame or notoriety. I just wanted to get my art heard.
Yeah.
So, my parents were just like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're going to be an artist? You have this whole business that your dad, they want me to take over.
Yeah, they want you to take over.
Yeah, and my dad came across, it happened before my eyes. We went from Chicago to living in a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom house. It was 6 of us, sometimes 8 of us when my grandparents would come, 900 square feet. And I saw my dad, as a married man, become successful at an older age. My dad didn't really reach, I guess, depending on what you define as success, he didn't really reach monetary success until his mid-50s.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I saw the whole thing happen.
Yeah.
So I take a lot of pride in that. We didn't grow up you know, with everything set up for us. I
Yeah.
kind of watched my dad hustle his way up.
Yeah.
And I use a lot of his tactics in, you know, in the music, because I'm a small business, you know.
100%.
But yeah, needless to say, they were pissed. They were just like, yo, this isn't, they still don't know how I make money.
Yeah, I feel like anything on the internet and social media, like our parents just don't get it.
No, they're like, you don't clock into a 9 to 5, you're lazy.
Yeah.
You need to do something with your life. And I
Yeah.
literally, I pulled up my Spotify statements and streaming
mean nothing,
statements,
does
and they're
it?
just looking at numbers, and they're like, so what does
But
this mean?
who's paying you?
But who's paying you?
Where's
and where's
the building?
this going?
Right.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay,
Is this
no,
legal? Are you
ye-
paying taxes?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
We pay taxes,
You better be.
for the record.
Right. No,
But-
I think it's funny because like when I actually started getting a following on Instagram, and you know I'd be leaving with like cameras and stuff like that. My dad's like, "Where the hell are you going?" I'm like, "Oh, you know, I'm gonna go film." You know, he's like, "Don't you have like a real job?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do, but like I'm building my business." He's like, "You're not gonna make a business out of this social media stuff, right? Like this is for fun or whatever." And I was like, "No, I really make money off of this," and they just don't get it.
The concept is so far removed from
Yeah.
them. You know, our parents probably grew up very similar in war and conflict and
100%.
poverty. And now with technology and us living in a, you know, the most developed country in the world,
Yeah.
like the concept is so far.
Yeah.
It's just like, I broke my back and came to this country for my kid to be doing TikTok dances. But that should be paying the bill.
6K, but it be paying off. And it's so funny because when you really think about it, honestly, it's because of the foundation and because of the effort that they put that we have the ability to do that. But initially, they think they're paving the way for you to duplicate what they've done. But really, generations are expected to exceed beyond your parents' wildest dreams, and it just keeps building. But
Absolutely.
it's so far ahead of what they ever thought that you'd be doing, right?
Absolutely.
That it's hard for them to accept. And I'm curious to know, like, what kind of mindset were you in when you actually had to come and tell them? Because one, I'm sure that conversation was difficult, but like, were you concerned about what they were going to say? Because I feel like you already knew what they were going to say, but like
Yeah.
emotionally, how did that feel?
It was a very gradual process. You know, I went from putting in maybe, you know, because restaurant business is a very demanding business.
Yeah.
And then when it belongs to you, you feel a sense of, you know, ownership.
Yeah.
And you have equity in it. So a bad review isn't just a bad review at a place you work. It's at your family's livelihood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
at the expense of your family's livelihood. So
Yeah.
I was very passionate and very drawn to just wanting the restaurant to continue to succeed. But it got to a point where it was like 50 hours a week to 40 to 30.
So you slowly tapered off. You didn't do like a cold cut.
Yeah, you can't do no cold cut with
Honestly, that's what I was about to.
foreign parents,
No,
man.
no, no.
gotta-
You would have
gotta
been buried.
ease them into
100%.
You know?
You literally would have lost your life that day.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay,
it
that's
was
what I
like,
was wondering. I was like, how did you break?
it was over like a 6-month period to where
Okay.
I went from 50 hours, averaging 50 hours a week to 0.
Okay, smart man.
And my dad was just like, "So are you?"
What's going
and
on
But
here?
I was still running the payroll. I was still paying the bills. I was still doing things that I didn't necessarily need to be there for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I was still doing all those things for him.
But they noticed that your presence is dwindling.
They're like, where's he at? And that whole time I was recording my first album, Mama.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us about the brand Mama, because I love the logo. And shout out to you for sending the merch that you did. We still have it in the house.
Of course. You
And
can't
you came with gifts, which
you
hubby's
can't
gonna
come
love.
empty-handed. You
Yeah.
know?
Jazakallah khair. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You came empty. That's why.
I know, right? Like, bro, he's not
literally
letting
kidding.
me
No,
up.
I'm kidding.
So-
You're the guest. Ironically,
Am
you're
I
the
the
guest.
guest?
Ironically, I'm the guest on your show, but ironically, you're the guest
That's true.
in the
That's
city.
true. You're
So,
right. Okay, cool. I'm gonna tell your mama that you said that to me while I'm a guest.
She'll slap the shit out
She'll
of me.
slap the
She'll slap the shit out of me for sure. But yeah, man. So Mama is basically my brand. It's the heart right here. I'm not sure if you watched cartoons as a kid, but the tough guys would always
The
if they
tattoos.
ripped their sleeves, they would always have the tattoo that says Mom in it. So this is Mama in Arabic. So it's meme elif, read right to left. A lot of people are like, oh, what's Lolo? And it's just like, oh no, it's Mama.
Because I mean I don't read Arabic fluently, but it never crossed my mind that to people who don't speak Arabic it would look like Lolo.
Exactly.
That's so interesting.
You know, I have Palestinian roots and I'm Middle Eastern, and I just wanted to make a rendition of that heart and I love my mother. I have a huge respect for all mothers in the world, just because knowing how much my mother sacrificed. I don't think it's exclusive to her. I think all mothers sacrifice from from the moment they realize they're pregnant. 9 months, and then going through the whole nurturing phase and raising a child and being there emotionally and biologically. So I have a huge respect for just mothers out there, and it's an ode to my mom, your mom, Deja's mom.
So what did you learn from your dad about entrepreneurship? Because I'm sure, just like you said, your upbringing wasn't easy by any means, but watching him get it out of the mud, how does that influence the way you approach your music career and your brand?
So what I learned from my dad is basically just taking that risk, that leap of faith, being confident in your abilities. My dad was a sous chef for 20 some years before he decided to do his own thing. And it kind of reminds me of my journey. It took 10 years for me to make a penny off of music.
Wow.
So if my dad would have quit 20, it took 26 years, I think, for him to open his own restaurant.
Wow.
What if he would have quit at the 25th year?
SubhanAllah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't see the blessings ahead, and they quit prematurely, and you're right there.
You're right there.
You're right there. So
Dang.
I could have quit 9 years in, and I never would have saw a penny off of music.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that just because something's not like bringing you, I guess, physical, the physical.
It's not
food
materializing.
Yeah, it's like monetizing right now. I think if you stay consistent at something, you're building a catalog and a rapport with your audience, and that's worth something, even if you're not getting paid for it right now. So just stay the course.
Do you have any memories growing up, like anything that sticks out to you about the work ethic that your dad had in getting the business?
So my dad worked 3 jobs when I was a kid, and alhamdulillah, I'm grateful that my dad was in my life. I remember he would, with all his free time, he would try to enroll me in like karate or like soccer, or just always spending time and stuff like that. So he did a great job, but just coming into my own as an adult and realize, 3 jobs, I couldn't imagine working 3 jobs as a single person right now. And I'm only 32. My dad was doing this, and he had 4 kids at home, 3 jobs. He just had a relentless work ethic, and his work ethic was he's very good with his hands. And my dad comes from the school of thought that hard work is the only noble work to do is with your hands. Whether it be building, whether it be cooking, whether it be standing on your feet for 15, 16 hours a day, that's what a job looks like to him. And I was young when we moved from Chicago, so I wasn't really understanding my dad's stress levels and anxieties about selling everything we had, the little we had in Chicago, taking that profit from the equity of the home and literally betting on himself completely. All in, going to a new state, a new world, opening a new business, and we have X amount of money in our savings, and if it doesn't work,
there's no backup plan.
Nah. No food, no real family in the States. There's we don't have any safety nets, and that pressure is admirable. Because I don't know, they're built different.
100%.
We, lack of a better term, we're soft. You know what I'm saying? We overanalyze everything. Oh, how am I going to get married? I don't have enough money. I don't have this job. Or how am I going to, I feel like our generation's a little bit scared to take risks. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost.
100%. And I think honestly, because there's also like all these images and these videos in our face of like what perfection looks like. And it starts off at such a young age that sometimes ignorance really is bliss, right? But I feel like, our generation had so much pressure to be all these amazing things because we didn't have the excuse of not, we have the internet, we have resources, we're in the States, alhamdulillah. But you're right, I think our parents were 100% built different. My dad immigrated from Eritrea, and he literally walked at 9 years old, right, through the desert to get to Sudan in order for them to have a better life.
Wow.
Right? So I have like first cousins through my dad's side of the family where it literally could have been reversed. I could have been stuck in Eritrea, or I could have been there with never a hope of college education or freedom or traveling the world. And I think that, there is a different kind of hustle that you get when you're in such dire situations where it's like, my life depends on being able to bust through and make something happen.
It's life or death for them.
100%.
For us, we have the comfort of, we just want to live the term that's going around, a soft life.
Yeah. Literally, that's like a trending thing now.
That's the trendy thing. And honestly, I have soft life, it sounds beautiful to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But our parents, I don't think they understand that concept. And my dad, got a U-Haul, packed up all his shit, and said, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And just that, you got to have so much confidence in yourself. You got to have so much faith.
Yeah.
Whether you believe in whatever you believe in, you got to have faith that it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, it did work out for him. You know what I'm saying? And I take his business model, and my dad used to sell hummus out of his kitchen in Chicago for extra money. And I'm talking about, this was back in the 90s. He sent out the actual sample of the hummus, and in Cali they'll do the nutrition facts, and he got labels printed.
Wow.
And we would literally, I remember as a kid, it would be 4 or 5 of us in the kitchen, and he would be pouring the hummus in. I put the label on. My mom has the little heat gun to put the plastic on. So the whole family is doing it.
It's like an assembly line in the kitchen.
And that's where my first example of entrepreneurship started, was in that kitchen, in our actual home kitchen. And it was a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
My dad was very creative when it came to, recipes and things like that. He made a lot of people in Chicago rich. And he said, well, if I can make all these people rich, why am I still broke? And that's when he decided.
Questions that need answers. There's a moment where it's like, I could just redirect this energy for myself, for my family.
100%.
But it does take a huge risk. Like, you have to have that unwavering faith in yourself 100%, like you were saying.
Yeah. I remember going to his boss's house in the north side of Chicago, lived in the same neighborhoods of Scottie Pippen and Jordan at the time. And, multi-million-dollar mansions and granite. And we're looking at them
it's a different world. Like, you've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, but to us, we're kids. Oh, that's your boss. He's supposed to have that money.
Yeah,
little did I know my dad was the brains behind
the operations,
the recipes and the things that, because he worked as a sous chef for the Allgauers, which was a big German hotel chain out there. And, he cooked for the Bears. He cooked for the Bulls.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So he does this. He's not just a guy that's just like, oh, I make good food.
He's not a TikTok chef.
No, he's not. But a lot
and no shade to them, but
no shade to TikTok chefs. No shade to foreigners like us who come to this country, and they
They're just trying to make a way and get a better life for their families. Yeah.
Their family says, well, you make the best makluba I've ever tasted. And they're like, well, I should open a restaurant. Restaurant business requires so much more than just knowing how to cook
food and the recipes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Restaurant business is, for sure, I think the data shows it's one of the hardest businesses to get into and let alone maintain. Mm-hmm. I think they don't usually make it 5 years.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
So after the 1 year mark, if your shit's not popping,
you're done.
You gotta go.
Okay, so then tell me about the first money that you made from your music career, and what was that feeling like? Tell me the context, and then break down what was the realization like? Did that feel like
I signed a distribution deal with Empire. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. They're located out the Bay. CEO Ghazi is Palestinian, so
wow.
I felt
the connection.
I felt a connection there. He actually called me before my first release and congratulated me and said, back in the day when he tried to rap, they laughed at him. So it's he
full
said it was a
moment.
Full circle moment for me to have a Palestinian on my roster that, and it was a big deal for me and a lot of other people that were around. They're like, Ghazi called you, because he's
well known,
notorious in the music industry, especially now. And I signed on with them. And, I put out my first project, and 3 months later, I think I got I was streaming pretty well for, for being, I was
new. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I was new. Spotify was new. So I was one of the, I guess, first artists to be on Spotify.
That's amazing.
I took advantage of it when it was still new, know, and, I think the first check came around, it was $600-700. And
whoa,
I was just like,
your first check?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then I was just like, okay, let me wait this out, right? And just to see. And then they just kept growing.
What?
You know, and once it got to the point where I was like, oh, I could pay my bills with this, I quit.
Yeah. You did your 6-month taper off? Quiet quitting, as we call it?
Quiet quitting, and yeah. And it was, you know, I wish I could say it was smooth sailing, but, you know, it was, and then you learn the logistics, right? Because I have my clothing brand too, the Mama, to, you know, for supplemental income. And sometimes the brand makes, if I haven't released in a while, sometimes the brand makes more than the streams.
What?
Yeah, so it's really just a situation now that, you know, I'm independent, don't want to sign because I love my freedom. But you do get to a point where those checks do start decreasing because, you know, you haven't put, you know, we're in such a
short attention span.
Short attention span. We consume things at an unreal level now. You know what I'm saying? They say, I think it's like 600,000-700,000 records get uploaded to Spotify every week.
What?
Yeah, so it's like 100,000 new records a day.
Jeez.
So
That's
we're consuming.
crazy.
You know, it's not like back in the day, a album comes out, we go to Best Buy or Circuit City. I'm not sure if you were around.
I was.
Yeah, you old like me.
I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah, you Circuit City, and it was a whole thing, right? When you get the album, you know, it had the parental advisory, and they would sell it to you anyway.
Wait. What's the first music album that you physically bought?
It was the Eminem LP.
That you bought yourself with your own money?
Myself
What
with
year
my
was
own
this?
money. This is 2000.
2000, I bought my first, I think it was maybe 2001. The first album that I bought was 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying.
Oh, that's a good one.
I had the whole, I still have it memorized from front to back.
That's crazy.
Absolutely nuts.
And the thing, that was
like,
that's the first one I bought. And, you know, it was just the thrill of getting away with buying a parental advisory album at 10, 11 years old.
Yep.
And then go.
No facts. Did you have your CD player?
I literally had to sneak that shit in the crib and, you know, put it in my Walkman and opened up the album, and it was a full experience. You're listening, and then you're reading the credits. And
yeah, because then you had the booklets, the pamphlets, and those were like lit.
Those were everything to me. And then sometimes you get a poster
that they fold in. It would be like the extra thing with the
So and you would live with that album and that music for a year,
2 years,
or years.
Yeah, until they drop something else.
Nowadays, we can't even live with the album for a week.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the biggest, the top tier releases too. Kendrick drops. Everybody talks about it for a week.
Then on to the next.
Some select records get put on playlists, on to the next album, on to the next single, on to the next. And I'm not a fan of that type of art. I like putting a lot into my art, but now it's even songs are getting shorter. I don't know if you realize.
Yeah, because if you have like a 4 or 5 minute song, I'm like, are you still talking, bro?
Yeah, it's like, we're still here? What are we doing here? You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
If you look now, like if you pay attention, most songs are around the 2-minute mark.
Yeah.
Sometimes even less.
Even shorter. Yeah.
And because it's the streaming era. It's all about profit. If you're running back a song every minute and 30 seconds or 2 minutes, it's going to be more profitable than running back a song. You get more plays.
Yeah.
It's quantity. Based at this point.
It's crazy how it's all a numbers game. Even like from social media, it's all a numbers game. And I feel like now musicians are putting music out, strategically for it to trend on TikTok, because now TikTok has people whose songs we never heard are now charting. Like Mariah's, It's a Rap, for example, came out 10 years ago, and now it's back on the charts just because of a TikTok dance or a TikTok trend. Have you gotten into TikTok, and are you in that?
Nah, and I should be, right, from a marketing standpoint and from like a promotion standpoint, but I just can't bring myself to. I don't know if I'm too old school, and I don't want to say that, but I feel like we're getting to that age where, like, the other day I was playing ball and some kid called me Unc. And it just fucked me up. And I think
like an identity crisis.
He was like, pass the ball, Unc. And I'm looking around like where's the old? I'm like, oh, it's me. But yeah, I passed him the ball and then kind of just like left that day, just like, damn.
Jeez.
The next generation's coming up. You know what I'm saying? And we used to be those young kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's just one of those situations where, I think TikTok, in terms of like TikTok, and there's certain things that I have a hard time
adopting.
Okay,
that's fair.
I'm not against TikTok. If somebody use my song, I would much rather somebody use my records on TikTok and make a dance to it than me actually
Can you dance?
No.
You ain't got no rhythm.
I would
How
like
do you
to
do rap, but you
that's
don't
what I'm
have no
saying. I would
rhythm?
like to think I have rhythm. Maybe I have vocal rhythm.
Because it's not the same.
No.
You can sing and be on
You could be
key
on key.
and all that, but not dance.
I'll be on. You could let the metronome play the little, and I'll be on beat. You know what I'm saying? I
You
don't
need
really
some
need a
support.
read. Yeah, I could, you know, in terms of vocally, but dancing wise, I'm like the most.
Palestinians are really big with dancing though. Like,
Debkin.
yeah, you don't know how to do that?
I did it at my wedding, and I was
how many
fucking
coaching
up.
sessions did you have?
I didn't have any. I just,
Oh my God.
yeah, I was just.
You just
know.
winging it?
Yeah, I mean, it was at my wedding, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are nervous at weddings because people watch them. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And I'm used to being on stage, so it kind of
That's
just
true.
felt like a performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so then your first album, Mama, comes out, right? It does numbers, mashallah, right?
Alhamdulillah.
You got some money from Spotify, and then what happens? Like, walk me through how you got from then to now. You have 7 albums, which is like insane.
So yeah, the first one had really good reception. I mean, I was on Fader, Young Dro was on the album, Fat Trail was on the album, Cap G, shout out to
How
all
the
of
hell
them.
did you even make that happen? Because those artists were also very established by
They're
the time.
very established and signed, and it was the money I made from the restaurant I had saved. And you know, you'd be surprised. You could hit up management. Most artists have their management in their bios. You reach out, email, and if the artist likes the record, they'll work
Wow.
with you. You know, you putting up some money though, of course.
Yeah, of
but
100%. Nothing's
yeah,
free.
but it's one of those situations where it was all independent. I probably spent for Mama to come out in terms of like all the artwork and the production and the features. Probably spent close to $20,000-$30,000 of my own money.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But it was worth it.
Yes.
It was proof of concept, right? So now you know it works. How did your going into your second album? Because also you talk about a lot of really personal things in your music, right? Like if you're listening, like it's catchy, mashallah. Like the melodies are dope, right? Your flow switch ups are really good too. Because I was surprised even when I came across, I was like, his music is actually really dope.
I appreciate that.
Really, really dope.
Thank you.
Because you know how some people they think they're rappers, but the shit is really terrible. And it's like maybe they'll grow into it. But I think from the very first music that I heard from you, which I think was off of the Mama album, was really, really good. And even like your stage presence, you felt it felt like you were very comfortable in your stage presence and in what you were saying and how you were showing up authentically.
So that's a decade of sharpening and my craft and, you know, honing in on my craft. I know it was my first album as Phay, but I was doing it for 10 years before that.
Yeah.
So it was 10 years in the making, essentially. So like you said, the performance and the delivery and stuff like that, you could tell when an artist is comfortable on a record and not. You don't have to be a music guru.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, artists sound awkward on record.
Yep.
You know, it might not be the correct beat selection for them, or they might not be comfortable enough yet. But yeah, I was already seasoned at that point. I was 10 years in, but still very green and had a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And I still have a lot to learn about the industry. Like,
Yeah.
thank God I'm not jaded. Sometimes I do get jaded, but I still care about the art and the music, and that's what it's about for me.
Yeah. Tell me about like your relationship with your fans, right? Like I've seen, you know, especially when your releases come out, like people will repost, so they'll have like Mama branded hoodies or merch and things like that. Like how much interaction do you get with your fans?
I interact a lot to the point where like my homies are like, bro, you can't respond to everybody.
Yeah.
You can't give them. And if you do respond to everybody, make it brief. I'm the type that I'm a small business again, and I learned this from my dad.
From your dad, yeah.
You know, somebody comes around and tries your product and shows and publicizes that they like it, they are paying your bills.
Wow.
So, you know what I'm saying? I feel an obligation to interact with, and it's genuine.
Yeah.
So a lot of my fans or followers on Instagram, if they reach out, it's more than just a, hey, I like this song. Thanks, man.
It's got them through some. So I've seen you retweeting like stories of like hardships that people have been through.
Yeah, and I don't even know, like, you know, you don't really go into I don't make music with the intention of changing somebody's life.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's like a great bonus, but
It's an amazing bonus.
Yeah.
I just want to I just want to create something that kind of takes you away from the real world for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, make you feel a little bit better. But transformative wise, I don't think we get to pick what records resonate and what art resonates and transforms people's lives and what doesn't. And it's happened a few times. Like, this one dude told me, this is a very extreme example of this, but it made me really uncomfortable too. But he told me, you are one of the top 3 influences in my life. And I was like, I appreciate that, man. And then he started listing the other 2. And it was Jesus Christ and Kid Cudi. And I said, I should never be in a conversation with Jesus Christ.
Whoa.
And it fucked me up. I'm gonna be honest with you, it messed me up. I was just like,
because how do you even process that? Like, wow.
My name should not even be in the same book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, not even, let alone the same sentence. So, but I guess, you know, to him, he just was making, you know, he was trying to show me how much the music meant to him.
Yeah.
But I never want my music to take away from anybody's beliefs, or, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
I think divine is divine, and then we're just
beings. Yeah, just here, creation.
Yeah, we just here creating, and you know.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's, a lot of people could use those situations to get like big heads or like gas themselves up. But I feel like through all of your interactions and all of the things that have happened to you and also for you, you've managed to stay super humble and very approachable. I think the first time I was like, yeah, bro, we got to meet up. And, you know, I think even before I left Atlanta, I was like, at some point I want to interview. And you're like, yeah, for sure, sis, like whenever.
Always.
Yeah. And even when I was on Instagram, like you sent me merch and stuff like that to Atlanta, which was really, really kind of you. How have you found it? Like, I know you had a great example from your father, mashallah, but like, what else in your life has helped you be so grounded and so humble?
You know, I grew up as a chubby kid.
I saw your pictures recently, and I think on one of the album covers, one of the song arts, like I was like, damn.
It was me with chubby. with you know, my homies and stuff, and I stuck out like a sore thumb.
Picture, yeah.
I was always, I don't want to say cool or whatever, right? I don't know if I was necessarily popular in school, but I was known. You know, these kids were the cool kids in that picture, right? And they're like, we want you to come in our group photo, and I was honored. So I thought I put that shit on with the yellow Park District shirt, and then the Reeboks with the but it was a different yellow, and it was clashing. And I think the people who took the picture knew exactly what they were doing when they put me in the middle. They were just like, this shit's hilarious. This guy does not belong, you know.
But you were full confidence.
Absolutely,
you were in
man.
it.
I was a chubby kid, you know, and just growing up, you know, I guess chubby or you know, that's something that people kind of make, especially kids, right? They have no filter.
Kids are so cruel.
So kids would call me fat ass growing up because my name is Faris in Arabic. So they would hear my mom yelling my name in the neighborhood, and they were like, even your mom calls you fat ass.
That is so, kids are the worst.
I'm like, yo, but I'm honestly glad because.
Are you?
Yeah, because there's not much that somebody could say to me that gets under my skin at this point.
You have tough skin now.
Yeah, and you know, we come from foreign parents. If you so much gain a pound, they'll notice.
Oh my God.
You walk in, the first thing, I remember visiting the Middle East, Palestine and Jordan, and the first thing after seeing, you know, I haven't seen my grandma, my aunts, and my uncles for 7 years, and they'd be like, damn, you fat. That's the first shit they say to me before salam alaikum, before anything.
Damn.
And I'm like, damn, y'all noticed that quick, huh?
Nothing gets past you.
Yeah. So we come from a culture that's very direct.
Yes. No filters. They don't care about what are feelings?
Feelings.
Depression?
Depression.
Your ass into those school books.
Depression. You better pray out of that depression.
Exactly.
You know, depression, feelings.
That's crazy.
And I think even to this day, like it kind of carried over. Like I don't necessarily put my feelings first. Still to this day, because I'm like, oh, my parents didn't give a fuck. Why would anybody else?
You know, subhanAllah, but even with that, like you're still very, I feel like very emotionally grounded and very open to people, because I feel like it hasn't turned you cold, if that makes sense.
No. I take pride in, you know, we've all been through things in our life that could easily harden us.
Yeah.
I think it's more impressive to stay soft. And
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think it's way more impressive. It's easy if somebody does you dirty for you to turn that, you know, turn your heart cold, and you're saying, well, I'm not doing shit for anybody else because of this one person.
Yeah.
That's easy. I think it's way more impressive and way more noble if you are done wrong and, you know, you set it aside and say, you know, essentially you're not doing it for that person.
Yeah.
Once you start doing things for a higher purpose, the way people treat you shouldn't even matter at that point. So I try to stick true to my character. Of course, sometimes like I'm human. Sometimes I get out of character, but I try to stick true to my character. I don't try to let anybody change that.
What was the hardest moment for you in your entire career, establishing your music? What was like the most challenging moment where you're like, I don't know if we're gonna make it through this one?
So in music, you just get a lot of no's. For every 99 no's, you'll probably get one yes. So you just have to get used to rejection. And I don't know if there's just like one transformative thing that was just like, oh, this is the thing that is about to break me. It's just over and over and over again. When you get no's constantly, repetitively, consistently, back to back to back to back, even the strongest people start to question if, hey, is this for me? Or
That doubt starts to creep in.
yeah, because if a whole bunch of people who are supposed to be gatekeepers are telling you no, 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 and it's really easy to get in your head and be like, well, am I meant for this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the music industry is a very no dominant industry. You just gotta be used to rejection.
Yeah.
And if you're not, it's just not for you.
With everything that you have been through, your music is super personal, like I was saying earlier, right? And even at one point when you were married, you had footage of your wedding. I think you made a music video at your wedding too.
At my actual wedding,
Yeah. Like, walk me through how that happens.
I mean, you know, it was kind of last minute. It was a last minute thing, decision. You know, you spend, the average wedding in this country is what, 50, 60 grand? We didn't even have alcohol. We don't drink. So like, it was still close to that 30, 40, you know, range or whatever. And I know it's a public record or whatever, like I don't like talking about money like that, but I was like, yo, we spent all that money on this production. Might as well get somebody to document it. I have a lot of music about, you know, my soon-to-be wife. And this record, I think, is perfect for, you know, for the wedding.
Yeah.
And yeah, we filmed the whole, people didn't even know there was a music video going on.
Yeah. I mean, because there's usually cameras at a wedding anyway.
Yeah.
So
you know, there were certain times where, like, you know, there was a videographer. I think he was the boyfriend of the photographer, and they were like, yo, do you guys want to do like a Drake rendition of like, because we usually do things like that. And I was like, she was like, wait, you're an artist. We'll just use one of your records and shoot a video.
That's awesome.
And, you know, pay the extra, whatever, 1,000 or 1,500 to get it done. And I was like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It was literally the day of when I was like, yeah, let's do it.
How does that music, and let me know if this is too personal, but like, how does that music age now, considering that, you know, you went through a divorce, you're in a public, like, I couldn't imagine what that would be like to like remove pictures of my spouse from online.
It was tough. It was definitely tough, especially when, you know, that was an era in my life, like, where, you know, that was my muse, that was my inspiration to write music.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot of beautiful things that you said about your wife at the time. Like, it was clear that you were very much like in it.
And they rendered true, you know? Everything I said, I never regretted. That's just how I felt at the moment, you know? People move on and move apart, but the music still holds. You know, sometimes it's hard to listen to certain things. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I had my, you're probably gonna think I'm full of myself, but I had my Spotify catalog on shuffle the other day, just kind of going through, you know, down memory lane, and a few songs came up, and I was like, oh shit, this is hard to listen to. Next,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I don't want to hear that right now.
I don't want to hear all that positive shit, you know, at the time. But it was, yeah, I mean, that was my way. That was my love language. It was I don't think I'm the most affectionate person. In terms of like being in a relationship, like, you know how there's men, you know, physical touch and are up under the woman a lot and stuff like that. I didn't come from a very affectionate family. So I think my way of showing affection was writing songs about, you know,
expressing yourself through music.
Yeah, and expressing my love, the love that I had, because it'd be hard to say that. For me, it'd be hard to say that to her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not really like I guess a conventional romantic where I'm writing poems and stuff like that. I'm just like, yo, this is what I do. I think I'm good at it, and I want to share my love and express my love through art and through music.
Yeah, I don't think you're unique in that. I think a lot of men find it difficult through words. I think women are very expressive and we're very emotional. We're also a lot of times groomed for that from like a very young age, where I think men get a lot of messaging that being in touch with your emotions is like feminine and soft and like stop crying, stop being a bitch and da da da. So I can understand how it'd be difficult, but I do think it was beautiful the way that you found a way to express how you felt, and it was very clear how much it meant to you at the time. And so I'm curious to know how music continued to support you through that. Like, I can't imagine what it feels like to get a divorce.
Yeah.
But like, did music continue to support you and be like a place for you to vent as well?
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of my next album is sifting through those emotions. There's a lot of records that are not going to make it on the album because of the space that I was in. Never would call anybody out their name or anything like that, but I'll listen back and I could even hear it in my voice,
like the pain.
And I'm not in that space anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm literally like sifting through records, like, okay, does this still hold true? Does this still hold true? Trying to tell a story through it, and it's about overall heartbreak, not just divorce. I lost a friend of mine, God rest his soul, like 8 months ago, 9 months ago, senseless violence, and there's a few internal family issues, and it was just a year
Mourning,
and a half,
it sounds.
a year of loss.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to capture that without making anybody the victim.
Yeah.
Or making anybody the
like the villain.
So I'm trying to be careful with my wording, but still be as candid as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you always been as that thoughtful and intentional about like your music?
Nah. I started going to
He's like, no, we're involved.
Usually I would just, if I felt it, I would say it.
Okay.
And there's sometimes I would say things on record that, aren't politically correct. And, I've had people not check me on it, but yo, you sure you want to say this? Now I'm a little bit more intentional. I've been going to therapy. I hate to sound like that guy. But
what guy exactly?
That guy that's like, my therapist said. Because
well, when you say it like that.
But yeah, I got into therapy. My friends helped me.
Really?
Helped me out in terms of like, seeing a therapist, and I really appreciate them. Shout out Deej and Fifi for sure. But
was it like after the divorce that really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I had a hard time trusting again, and I was in a weird space.
It's traumatic, yeah.
I took a lot of my energy and like my healing. I thought just being in the gym would be, enough.
A lot of guys do that.
To physically transform myself, but there was still a void. It helps, right? The physical helps.
Exerting that energy, having an outlet.
Having that outlet, feeling good about yourself and how you look. But there's still an emotional, you can't do it all yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I realized.
Yeah, you were running up Stone Mountain every day. What was it, 99 days that you did that hike?
I'm on day 240 something.
Wow,
yeah.
I thought initially it was like
I did.
Okay.
Before my wedding, I did 100 times.
Okay.
I'm addicted to streaks.
Okay.
I don't have a addicted personality per se, but when it comes to streaks and just like discipline, I'm
consistency.
Consistency. I'm huge on just proving to myself. Like I think I'm on day 83 right now of just working out every day for 83 days.
That is crazy.
Haven't taken a break, and I don't know what it is about me, but I think it's more of a character flaw than anything.
Why character flaw? I mean, it's literally healthy, so.
Yeah, but the discipline is, my mom's like, you're addicted. This is not. All right, cool.
All right,
I could be
Mama.
addicted to something worse.
But but if you were fat, they would complain about that too. So.
And I was, nothing. I don't want to say there's nothing wrong with being fat, but like in terms of in my situation, I was just, look at old pictures and I was just not healthy, just fat. There's no sugarcoating it.
How has therapy been for you? Can I just say something to you real quick? I really respect that in today's age, it's becoming a little bit more acceptable for guys to be like, yeah, I'm going to a therapist, I'm talking to somebody about my feelings. I feel like a few years ago, like that was, I mean, even now it's still a little taboo, but I think it's much more accepted now. So how has your journey been with therapy? I'm huge on therapy. I've been going consistently for like maybe 8 or 9 years now.
So my therapist said, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm about to say you're turning into that guy.
Yeah, no. Honestly, ever since I went to therapy, I'll just be like my therapist said, and I just feel like I'm better than everybody.
Yeah,
especially
100%. Because you have the awareness.
Those who don't go to therapy, I'm better than you. I'm looking down on you. My therapist said, you should go get therapy, you broke bitch. And I was like, I'm kidding, because therapy is expensive, but and it's a privilege. It's a privilege for sure.
Yeah.
Therapy's been amazing, and it's one thing that my therapist said that like will always resonate about vulnerability, and it really helped shape the way that I was creating my album.
Okay.
And she said, you have your walls up, right? And you're heavily guarded, rightfully so. But she said, you see vulnerability as a burden, but vulnerability is a gift that you willingly give somebody. She's like, what are you worried about? And I think I said something along the lines of them using that as ammo against me. And she said, when you willingly give your vulnerability to someone, there's no way that gift that you gave them could never be used against you.
Wow.
To harm you.
When you first said that, did that like resonate with you, or were you like resisting?
At first I was like, what the fuck does that mean? What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, it can still hurt me. I gave them a gift and they threw that shit right back in my face. That shit still hurts, yes. But then I went home and I was just like, if you willingly, without force, without, pressure from anybody, willingly are vulnerable and show your true side, whatever they decide to do with it, whether they want to respect it, hold it sacred, or throw it back in your face and use it as ammo against you, that's on them, not on you.
And it really is a reflection of them and their hurting and their insecurities and their shortcomings.
1,000%. So if you're willingly giving something to somebody, I mean, even in Islam, right? Somebody gives you a gift, you can't return that gift.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of one of those situations. I gave you this gift of vulnerability. There's no way you could give it back to me.
Yeah.
Or hurt me with it.
And going back to what you were saying earlier, that's actually the more impressive thing to do, to love and to give and to be open with battle scars, with disappointments, is really what's impressive, right? Anybody could build a wall if you're willing to put up the bricks, right?
It's the whole thing I was telling you about. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it was the whole thing, like, it's easy to have a hard heart in today's society. But remaining soft is, and that word soft is even derogatory, especially with men. Masculinity. Hey man, you soft. Basically means you pussy. You're soft. It's a adjective used to describe femininity in women. But I think softness is honestly the most important thing you could be, especially in this life.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think Brene Brown is the first time that I had experienced or learned about like vulnerability. She has a book, I think it's called Daring Greatly, or the Perfect Imperfection. I forget what the book is called, but she talks about how the things that we really want, to be loved, to be cherished, to feel safe, you don't get those unless you're willing to be vulnerable. And that shit really fucked me up, because I was in a bad place at the time that I was reading it. And I was like, how do you expect me to be open when my heart is literally bleeding the fuck out? Like, explain that to me. So I thought it was really funny when you said your therapist was like, oh, vulnerability. And you're like, what the fuck does that mean?
What the fuck does that mean, Kobe Bryant? Like that commercial? I was just kind of like looking at her and I was like, it sounds profound and I'm paying for this, so I'm gonna agree. That's what I did. But then when I sat on it, it all started coming together. It didn't make sense the first time she said it. I'm gonna be 100% honest.
And it's even hard. It's like there's like levels to it, right? There's the first level of like accepting that vulnerability is like this amazing thing. There's a whole nother level of I'm gonna try it. And inevitably, when you are learning to be more vulnerable, you're gonna get disappointed almost immediately in the very beginning, right? And then the next level is overcoming that and realizing, really leaning into, I gave you my gift, what you do with it is your business. That's between you and God, right? Ain't got nothing to do with me. And it's not a reflection of me, it's a reflection of you. Right? So and then slowly, as you get more and more comfortable with giving out your gifts openly, I think for me, one, I started finding vulnerability would come back to me, and I would see people opening up that maybe I had known for a long time, and we're now able to connect on like this totally different level, right? And two, I also felt things that used to bother me or piss me off or really, really hurt me deeply, because I'm very sensitive, wouldn't sting so bad, right? And I kind of have that air sometimes about like, my therapist did it. I'm 10 years, 10,000 hours at this point. Like, you can't really tell me
10 years
shit.
in.
Yeah.
So you better than me.
I'm better. Fuck you.
Fuck me. Fuck Deej. Fuck anybody who's not been going to therapy for more than 10 years.
No. Well, I'm
not
just
saying
kidding.
fuck you, but like I'm just saying like she's better. She's better than us because she's done the education.
Yeah, and honestly, really, like, sitting in the sessions means nothing if you're not applying it.
100%.
It doesn't mean anything. So like we're full of shit. Like, we're just joking, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, but and it's funny because like I think like 5 years in, I was like, I have done all the goddamn therapy I can possibly do. There's nothing else about my life I can tell you at this point. You know everything. And, you know, I think I've got it, right? Like, I'm anxious, I'm sensitive, perfectionism. Like, I got all my classifications at this point. But subhanAllah, there's always another level. And those same things that, you know, just people are born with, right? They come and they manifest differently at a job than at school, with your friends or with a spouse, with your kid versus your in-laws. And you have to relearn how to almost like, kind of like exercise, right? Like, you may be able to sprint, but now when you're carrying weight, like, just because you're fit doesn't mean that you could do rock climbing the same way as kickboxing the same way. They require different muscles in each of those scenarios.
Similar equations, right? But like you said, it's you got to put them together because I don't know. I think therapy teaches you how to, like, you know, better your character. Well, if you're applying it, to better your character overall, so that you are better for your spouse and your siblings and your parents, and you know. So I think it's one of those things for sure.
So now, I mean, are you still going to therapy at this point?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm trying to graduate. But
you don't
she just
graduate,
keeps
nigga. I'm telling you.
She was I mean, I got friends that, you know, she'll be like, "Oh, you're doing great. You could only go. I only need to see you once a month." This woman keeps telling me she needs to see me bi-weekly, man. I'm just like, fuck. Just want to be better.
Yeah. You know what? And let me be honest, right? Like, in the years that I've been going to therapy, there are some times where I taper off and I'm doing once a month, and then sometimes I don't go for 3 or 4 months, you know. And in my situation, inevitably something comes and knocks me on my ass, and I'm just like, we're at this shit
Need it again.
And I'm just back on the couch like, hi.
Damn.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's helped me. It's humbled me to understand that, like, you know, that's just life, right? You know, in Islam, you know, they promise you that this dunya or this lifetime is not supposed to feel good. It's not supposed to be super enjoyable and amazing. And there are amazing moments in there, right?
Yeah.
Like family that you love, friends that you adore, people show up for you, people showing you kindness, respect. Like, there's beautiful things, but it's meant to be hard.
Yeah.
And that really helped me kind of understand and accept that this shit is not for the faint of heart, and it's not gonna change.
Life is suffering.
I love the way you
Life
put
is
that.
suffering. I was watching Mufti Mink the other day. He came up and he said, God says you can't have profit every day.
Yeah,
If you have profit every day, how would you know what hardship looks like?
yeah.
You know?
Barely with hardship comes ease.
Wow,
100%.
bars. We're going crazy.
Come on, man.
Without struggle, there's no progress.
Yep. I don't
Frederick
got another
Douglass,
one.
I think, right?
Yeah. Yes. I
Maybe.
think so.
Please let
Quote
that
us
be
in
right.
it. Yeah.
We're just quoting, but you got any more quotes you want to share?
I'm out. That's all I got. I'll go back to my
A threat
therapist.
to justice anywhere is a
threat to justice everywhere.
yeah.
Okay.
MLK. Anything else?
No, you're on
we
fire.
just throwing them out.
Oh my gosh. But no, I appreciate that. So I want to just kind of end off with, you know, for anybody who's listening, our audience is primarily, you know, aspiring or current entrepreneurs. What advice would you give to someone who's listening who maybe they don't want to do music, but they have a dream that's like far-fetched and they're just trying to figure out, you know, how to go all in and have that courage that you learned from your dad, mashallah, right? What would you say to them?
So I always urge, especially first generation Americans, to get involved in the arts in any type of way, whether it be virtual reality. You know, our brother Abdullah Alim is doing amazing things with that.
Yes, shout out to him.
Whether it be painting, whether it be singing, whether it be through dance or writing. I would say that, you know, try to lower the voices from because if they grew up how we grew up, their family's probably not being as encouraging as we want them to be, and they'll say, like your dad said, how are you going to make a living off of this? Or my dad said, when are you going to find a real job?
Yeah.
I would say to kind of mute those voices and find a tribe. And sometimes it could be your parents, you know what I'm saying?
The lucky ones.
The lucky ones,
For
but
real.
you find a tribe and it could be your siblings. It could be your coworkers. It could be, your classmates, whatever it is. Find a tribe that encourages you, supports you, and you feel respected and valued when you're around them. I think that's the first step. Before anything creative happens, be around people who embrace who you are. And when we've all been in situations where we feel valued, right? And we've all been in situations where we don't feel valued.
100%.
And if you stay in those situations where you don't feel valued, it'll have you second guessing yourself, and you'll minimize and undermine a lot of your talents and your potential if you do that. So first things first, surround yourself with a tribe that believes in you, that values you, that loves you. And you can reciprocate that with them as well. And then stay consistent. Don't let criticism pull you down, and don't let praise
Get you
build
too
you
high
up.
either. Yeah.
What's the saying? It's we're saying a lot of sayings right now, but it's a head ass. This is a lot of head ass moments, but it's if you rise with the cheers, you'll fall with the boos.
That's a new one for me. I haven't heard that one.
You haven't? So
But I love that one. That
if
makes
somebody
perfect
comes
sense.
to
Your goal is to stay even
stay
keel.
even. It's really hard to take criticism the same way it is to take praise, right?
Yeah,
Because praise
100%.
sets off of certain endorphins in your body. But I try to, somebody says, you're the greatest artist alive, cool. You're the worst artist alive, cool. I try to make sure that I have a similar reaction to both of those, because it'll knock you off your horse. A lot of people, when you praise them too much, they get comfortable and they get stagnant. A lot of people, you criticize them too much, they quit. Or on the other end of that, if you criticize somebody, they have a chip on their shoulder and they want to prove something. So surround yourself with a tribe that believes in you. Stay consistent, stay the course, hone in your skills. Be honest with yourself. There's some people who are just natural tastemakers. They know what looks good. They know what sounds good. They know what. And there's some people who learn that. And just, have that resolve, and don't quit because things aren't making you monetary. Or you're not seeing monetary value immediately. Don't quit.
Yeah, because it could be tomorrow that you're breaking.
Could be tomorrow.
Yeah.
You could be working for 10 years, you haven't seen a penny, and it could be tomorrow. So it happened with my first check. Went 10 years. One day I woke up and there was, like I told you, $600-700 in my account, and
That's
I said,
crazy.
"Wow, this wouldn't have been here if I quit."
Yeah.
So that's that.
Cool. And then also, for sure, let us know about when the album's dropping.
So Heartbreak Phay is dropping, inshallah, and this is a real inshallah, not like a
Not like our parents.
not our parents, like inshallah.
For those of you guys who are not Muslim, explain.
That's a hard no, actually. I was gonna say it's a soft no.
What does
but
it actually mean for the
means
people who don't?
if God is willing. Inshallah means if God is willing, and most of the times when our parents say that, they're like, well, God didn't will it. So it basically takes
It
takes the pressure off of them, the accountability off of them. But yeah, inshallah, it drops at the end of 2023. I already dropped 5 records from it. I'm gonna drop them as singles and then put them together as a compilation, because like we said, people consume things so quick, and our attention spans are shot. So I try to give every record a life of its own, and then if you want to listen in chronological order, I'll put that together for everybody. And
Very cool.
yeah,
Nice. And then where can people get the drip from? Is the mama?
mamathebrand.com.
All right. It was so amazing talking to you. I didn't know how
too,
this was
man.
going to go. Like, I knew it was going to be great, but I didn't
Yeah.
know what kind of vibe was. I really thought we were going to bullshit the whole time. I'm going to be
Yeah, it
honest
got
with
real
you.
introspective.
It did. It did.
You want
Maybe
to
that
talk
was
about
my
anything
fault.
else?
We said we were going to try to get canceled on the episode.
Yeah.
What provocative thing would you like to say? Anything you want to just get off real quick?
I don't think I necessarily want to I want it to get canceled on accident.
Oh, okay.
Like now you're provoking me to say some. What you want me to say?
No, let's not. If there's something on your heart, open mic, bro. It's all you. But yeah, I really thought we were gonna be like joking and stuff. I don't know. Somehow, like you never know how the interviews are gonna go. Sometimes, you know, the people that I think like are gonna be real serious and like, oh, we end up shooting the shit and it's like an hour and 50 minutes. I'm like, damn, we're gonna have to cut this down.
Oh shit.
And then sometimes when I'm like, oh, we're 100% about to just be geeking, and then it's like really reflective. And
Yeah, this was
childhood.
that was that's my therapist. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to book her this month.
Yeah, I just talked to you.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? What was I gonna say? I think there was a funny story, not a funny story, but that about the wedding video that you were saying. So my ex-wife hit me up and told me to take it down, and I was like, I checked my statements on how much money I was making. I was like, can't even do that, big bruh. You gonna have to serve me.
Did she?
No, she didn't serve me.
That's crazy.
But yeah, she told me to take it down.
Yikes.
It's kind of I don't watch it, but other people do, and it makes, you know, some money. But I'll take it down if she really wants it down. I
Yeah.
don't want to hold anything hostage.
No, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Hope nobody gets divorced. You know, the rate is 51% in America. So
Man, marriage is hard.
marriage is hard.
It is hard as, listen, it's not, in Islam we say it's half of your deen.
Yeah.
It's half of your deen for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't care how much therapy you went to. I don't care how good of a relationship your parents got. I don't care how balanced you are, your attachment style. It's going to be hard. There's going to be something y'all don't agree with. There's going to be some compromise that you never thought you were going to have to like adjust in a space, no matter how good or whatever you think. It's going to humble you every time.
I'm getting hot. I'm getting hot just talking about marriage, man. That's difficult. But yeah, no, I mean, you know, it does complete half your deen, and you working for that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
That's why it's half, because it's so much work.
Yeah.
But it's also very beautiful when it is, you know? So
Yeah.
I urge everybody, if they find somebody, to get married, man.
So you officially looking or not yet? Because you graduate in therapy soon. Like you might be out in the streets. We might know some of the sisters be looking.
I don't think they want a battered man like me.
Battered? Why do you define yourself as battered?
This is what I like to say. My favorite thing to say is I'm emotionally unavailable to women.
Okay.
But then I hated using that excuse because, you know,
Yeah.
it just felt like it was an excuse.
Like a
so
cop
that's
out.
why I started going to therapy, to be more emotionally available,
Got you.
mainly for women. I don't want
Shut-
to be emotionally available to men.
So for your future wife, inshallah, we thank you on her behalf until, you know, she gets a chance to do it herself.
Yes.
Come back there. I don't know where you just went.
Had a That's So Raven moment.
Yeah.
You said future wife, and that shit triggered me.
Oh my God. Okay.
No,
sorry.
inshallah. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I still believe marriage is beautiful.
Yeah. Do you want kids?
Fuck them kids, man. In the words of the great Michael Jordan, fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids.
Capital.
I feel like you're full of shit. You
No,
really don't
I
want no
really,
kids?
really fuck them kids. I love kids. I have 2 nephews.
I'm about to say, yeah, you're always posting them.
Oh yeah, my nephews. Those are like, I don't know if this is like weird to say, but like I literally see them as my own. Mm-hmm. And they're enough. Mm-hmm. But like kids are annoying as fuck. You don't a lot of people like see the cute like baby pictures and stuff, but I have friends who have recently had kids.
It's rough.
And they have aged 10, 12 years in the matter of months.
Yeah.
I don't want to look like that.
You're like, I just got we were talking about your skincare routine.
Yeah,
before.
oh shit, my bad.
No,
I
you're
just
fine.
look like skincare routine, mashallah. Like, you know, I'm trying to look younger. You feel me? Like, I'm trying to be young.
Are you about to be on the
youthful.
Botox shit?
Oh, BBL.
What?
Yeah, I'm getting that
You're
soon.
full of
BBL
shit.
coming soon. No, what Botox shit? I'm a grown ass man.
Listen, a few years ago,
What is it? Ab implants?
there's ab implants, there's muscle injections now.
Yeah.
You know, some of the guys, they're getting these fake hairlines. They're going to Akon went to Turkey and got the hairline. Some of them are getting like man weaves, the quick man weaves.
I tell my barber every time he cuts my hair, hey man, if you see the slightest inch of my hairline receding, you let me know, and we gonna end this shit right here.
You're gonna go bald, just like
1000%. We're not even going through the phase. You just got to learn how to let go.
Wait. The intentionality, are you talking to somebody specifically right now? Like, you're looking at me, but I feel like that message was for somebody that you know.
You got to learn to let go.
That's
for all the men that's not letting go of the hairline, man. That shit, look, just
look in
let
the camera and just
let it go. When your hairline starts in the middle of your head, it's time. It's
Habibi,
done.
it's okay.
You know what I'm saying? Habibi, bro, it happens to the best of us.
All of us.
I don't make hairline jokes, by the way. Wallahi, I'm scared straight. I got friends who are bald as shit. Like, you'll never hear me. Everybody else is like, they're all making fun of each other. Like, you bald as shit, because they all bald, and I'm just in the back like, please,
Ya
God.
Allah, don't humble me. I don't.
Allah, you've humbled me enough.
That's the next thing you're gonna take to your therapist.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that to go. But skincare routine is definitely, important, especially for men. I think I have like 2 really good women friends in my life who are like, and this is the first time I've had like friends who are like women, right? And it's just really important to have women in your corner. You know what I'm saying?
What have you learned from your female friends that was different?
So much shit, man. Oh my God.
They be busting your head open.
Oh my God, so much shit. Skincare routine, the importance of exfoliating.
Exfoliating?
Yeah, I didn't even know what the hell that was.
Wait, Khadija, come on. Can you pull her camera? We owe her.
Come on, Deesh. You want me to get...
Come stand right here in the middle.
Look at the skincare routine, mashallah.
It's all me.
Yes. Okay, so tell us about how you got him to start exfoliating.
So he works out a lot, and he started breaking out, and he would always complain, guys, oh my God, I have a pimple here and I have a pimple here. So we're like, because you work out all the damn time and you're always wearing a hat. So I'm like, you know what? I have this exfoliator and I need to buy myself one. I'm going to buy you one and you need to use it.
What was the exfoliator?
It was a Formula 1006.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, yeah, that one. And yeah, I remember bought it for him.
How much did you argue with them before you did it?
It was the honestly, at this point, whatever they tell me, I'm going with it.
You guys are broken to spirit.
But
no,
he got
not
me-
even broken my spirit.
No,
They just be right. They're just right.
We're just
They're
always
just
right.
right, and I'm wrong. And that's not even coming from a woman's always right. But like when it comes to, I guess, beautification tips and things like
We
that.
got this shit on lock.
Yeah, but
Got
he looked,
20 years, 30 years.
he was overwhelmed though because it came with a cleanser as well, and I gave it to him, and he looked at it, he's like, yo, you know what, I'm gonna just take the shit, very
Slow.
like slow. So you keep the cleanser, I'll take the exfoliator. I'm like, the cleanser thing's more important.
Right.
But either way,
Now you
whatever.
got a 10-step routine?
Yeah, but now he can't miss it.
I was literally, when we were hanging out yesterday, I had to leave. I was told both of them, like, oh, I gotta go. I got a 30-minute skincare routine
Yeah,
now.
he literally left the hangout because he can't skip out on his skincare routine.
Not only do I have to pray Aisha, not only do I have to shower, I have a 30-minute skincare routine. I gotta go.
Okay. I love the balance.
Yeah, so you see,
Yeah.
but you know what? Every single time we see him, guys, look, is my skin on point?
I'm just trying to see if it's working,
Yeah.
man.
No, it's working. It's amazing. Just don't touch your face throughout the day, please.
I won't.
Please don't
All
do
right,
that.
I got you,
Just
coach.
be doing it. We'd be sitting there. He's like,
He always dirty hands.
right. He still didn't get that part, but his skin is still.
We're going to get you together.
Yeah.
So yeah, exfoliation, skincare. They taught me. They taught me about therapy and the importance of that. I don't know. I think it's women have just a natural softness that it brings out.
We're
that
nurturing.
Yeah, it brings out that softness in you. And like I said, vulnerability is a gift. And probably a lot of things that I say on this podcast, a lot of dudes gonna be like, that shit gay. But
You know what? But really,
even though there's nothing wrong with being gay.
yeah, absolutely not. But I do understand what you mean that, it takes a transition for you to be comfortable, for a lot of men to be comfortable to do and say some of the things that you've done. So
Yeah.
and really, like, some of the realest men I know and like the best fathers, they're in touch with their emotions. They can love and protect their families better because they acknowledge like these things and because they're open to them too.
They can articulate themselves better. They communicate. Their spouses understand them better. Their kids understand them better. I think it's amazing to be able to communicate. I come from a household, just like many first-generation Americans, where I didn't know how to communicate my feelings because, first off, they didn't matter. Second off,
Fuck your
you feel
Yeah,
fuck
like,
your
nah.
feelings, man. But second off, it's seen as I didn't grow up in a house where I saw my dad cry. Crying even to right now to this day is a very it's unnatural for me because men, you know, the way that they show their feelings, whether it's anguish or sadness or anxiety or depression, it always comes out as some type of anger. You know?
They say anger is not a primary emotion; it's a secondary emotion.
Wow.
It's always fear or something else that leads to that shame, regret. It's always something else.
Yep. So it's one of those things where just you learn how to communicate better.
Yeah.
You know, I still have a lot of work to do. I'm not a finished product at all. Like that old me still comes out, that pride, you know, our cultures. But I don't think anything good comes from pride, to be honest with you.
How have you seen him transform?
Whoa. Whoa.
Honestly, I'd say number one thing, he stopped saying he's emotionally unavailable. He literally used to say it a lot, and then now he just doesn't, and he's gotten a lot better at setting boundaries.
Boundaries is a big one.
Yeah, he still struggles with it, but he's gotten so much better with that, and honestly, like, he's gotten better at saying no and explaining
You don't
why.
have to go for 2 months therapy. I think you're gonna be good after this.
That's it.
Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
not be able to say no to people
Yeah,
that
he couldn't.
to anybody. Now I say no to people I don't give a fuck about, but people I still love, I still have a hard
But
time.
then, like, we still call him out on it, you know? Like, we kind of hold him accountable a lot of the times. I'll be like, okay.
Yeah, sometimes I asked if I could do something. I'll say inshallah, and her roommate was basically like, "That shit gives me anxiety. Don't ever respond with
Yeah.
inshallah anymore. I need clear cut answers." I
Just
said,
give,
"Oh
like, an-
shit."
Yeah, just give, like, an actual response, please. Like, don't be dodging. Just be upfront and just say what you want. But I think more there's, like, a fear of letting someone down. I don't know if it does stem from that, but
Yeah, I don't
think
like
that's what it is. I think it's a fear. He has a fear of letting people that he cares about down, and then that may be potentially changing maybe the way they view him, or like it'll go against how he views
Yeah, it's
himself.
very accurate.
Yeah,
I didn't even know she knew all this.
But so I just
About me.
I know my
gonna
friends.
have to
I
get
read
a-
people.
We're gonna have to get a release form on your ass as well.
Dr. Phil. She honestly is Dr. Phil over here.
Are you the one? Are you the friend in the friend group who's like getting everybody therapy and like getting everybody like self-help books and?
No, I don't
Phay?
know. It's me and my roommate. My roommate got me on the therapy thing.
This
and
girl
then,
sent me this dense ass self-help book that was like
Oh, that was a
400 pages. Didn't have a name on it. It was just in front of my door on Amazon. I freaked the fuck out.
What was
Said,
the book? What
"Who
was the
has
book?"
my address?
it said so the book was just like it was just as a joke because it said
Do you have a problem saying no?" There was something in there that was actually kind of
do you feel like you're being what's it called? Was it taken advantage of? There was something,
sexually taken advantage
yeah,
of.
something.
I read it and I was like, I literally looked
didn't
around my
read
house. I
that.
said, somebody's about to bust in here and rape me.
I
tell him
didn't.
yours?
No, she
no,
didn't.
I didn't. I did not.
And there was
then-
no name on the package.
And I was there when he received it, and I'm like, oh my god, really? Who sent you that? I was playing along, and he was freaking out. He was freaking out. But yeah. Anyway, he's improved a lot. It's just he really cares about the people in his life, and is very specific about who he wants to spend his time with. And I think just that fear of letting those people down, or like he loves being there for people, but I feel like once he feels like he can't, even though he actually can't, like his schedule is full, he'll try to move things like around and everything.
You're like bend over backwards.
Yeah, and it's like, it's okay. People who care about you and know that your default is to care for someone and show up for them, they will understand it.
Yeah.
You know, you're not letting them down.
I got another
But-
quote. Dr. Seuss. The people who mind don't matter, and the people who matter don't mind.
Wow.
Bar.
Oh, look at that. That's bars right there. Right there. Closing act.
I'm about to say, yeah, let's close it here because I don't got no more for you, and I feel like you're about to ask me for another one.
I got a quote from Dr. Seuss too.
Go ahead.
Red
not be
hat,
green.
blue hat, 3 hat, 2 hat. Bars. That's it.
Yeah, green eggs and ham.
That's it.
bars.
Green eggs and ham.
Sam I am.
Sam I am. You feel me?
Oh my God. Okay, Khadija, thank you for letting us put you on the spot.
Of course.
I apologize. I appreciate you.
Damn, she phoned in a friend.
She sure. Listen, she came through clutch. I was about to say, where can the people find you again?
Phay Weather on all socials. You dig?
Thank you for coming. We appreciate you.